So, Breaking Dawn starts with Edward finally getting what he's always wanted, which is getting married. How is it to kind of shoot those wedding scenes? It's been something, I guess, the film's been building up to for a fair while.
Yeah, I feel like I've done about 12 proposal scenes already, but it's no, it's nice, and it's funny as well. You suddenly realise that you're just a prop, really, as the groom. I mean, especially when Kristen's walking down the aisle and then the entire congregation is looking the
other way.
Yeah, you're just like.
With this film, it feels like the stakes are higher, and everyone's a bit more grown up. Did you feel that kind of when you entered into filming Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2, that you were really kind of coming to a close and things were changing? Yeah,
kind of. I mean, not really beforehand, but I mean, you realise quite quickly that it's a harder movie to play. I mean, it's Edward has to figure out who he actually is in this movie, and his ego is just completely destroyed in this movie. He realised everything that he thought he was. He definitely isn't. Any aspect he thought he had control over anything, and he really doesn't have control over anything at all.
Because you see this shift, obviously, because Bella really comes into her own in this film. She is defiant and demanding, and we've never really seen her be like that before, because she's always been quite sort of awkward. And it's interesting to see your character kind of struggle with that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of, because she had to go to an actual, an extreme, because all the other movies she does prove herself. Like, Edward always thinks he knows what's best for her, and Bella always ends up coming to save his life in the end. And this one, it's sort of, she really puts her foot down.
I'm the one who'll lose you.
You have to accept what is.
You've given me no choice!
Normally in a relationship would mean that's the end of the relationship, to have that kind of seismic shift in the power structure. But it's really just they just needed to show to each other what they
could
want.
do. Yeah, and also it shows that trust as well. If you're in the relationship to that extent, that you can actually be demanding and defiant, and the partner actually goes, "Oh, all right, okay, it's a fair point you're saying here."
Yeah, and it just took a lot for Edward to realise.
I wanted to talk about the birth scene, because it's pretty intense. And quite bloody, and actually, in the book, it's pretty intense and bloody, and I feel quite pleased that Bill has kind of stayed true to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that important, do you think, that he did that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, if it was toned down anyway, it would have been kind of ridiculous. And it was also toned down in the movie, like when we were shooting it, there was a dummy of Kristen which was totally emaciated, and really realistic dummy of her, and just covered in blood and gore, and I was just sort of walking like, God, how are you going to shoot this? You can't do a master of it or anything, because it's just not going to get into PG-13. And but it was fun doing that. I mean, we shot it as if we were shooting an R-rated movie, and then it was just toned down and editing afterwards.
Which interesting outtakes then.
Yeah.